Long way. Get this shit a long way. Shit a long way. Get the long way. Hit the long way. 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 Shit long way. 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 Shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Finish rich, yeah. Gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way and every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand sometimes we gotta get lit. No, we ain't get lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get this shit the long way, yeah. Cozy tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, I get this shit the long way. My bitch be tripping back and forth like a pawn way. My name's Atari, I ain't playing games, so I'm not Atari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way. We gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like a pawn way, yeah. Man, I'ma get this shit the long way. Get this shit the long way. Just the only way today. Because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask. We the new slaves. And we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay. We gon' be okay. They gon' be okay. They gon' be okay for me. Yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way. 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 Yeah, we get this shit the long way. Yeah, cause we gon' be okay. We gon' be okay. Yeah, we gon' get the long way. Yeah.
What is up, everybody? What's going on? I know it's a late night, but I'm out of town right now. I'm in Seattle right now, so what's up? So I don't know if I can. Hopefully I sound good because I'm just using the speakers on the computer, no microphone. What's up, Willie, Aaron from the UK, Jesus, how you doing? Hold on for a sec. Sorry about that. Tell my girlfriend that she's getting louder and louder out there. Okay. What's up, everybody? Sup, Arlene, Miss AB. How you doing, Willie? I know it's been a long time. I know it has, but I'm gonna just be real with you guys. What else can I say about debt slaves? I mean, what is there left to say? I'm just, man. What's up, Michael? What's going on? What is there left to say about debt slaves? I don't know. I'm out of ideas, So I decided I'm gonna just concentrate on my book. That book's gonna be a bestseller. It's gonna sell better than Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is on a different level. Matter of fact, I don't even want to compare this book to that. I'm just saying, put it this way: what debt slaves don't know about Robert Kiyosaki's book, it's because it goes along with sort of like mine. It's forever. It's just math. His book really ain't that. It's just talking about math the same way, right? Same thing. What's up, Mingoism? So I haven't been on because what else is there to say? It's just getting worse. They're just doing debt slaves dirtier and dirtier. But we all know, as S&D family, S&D aliens, it has to be that way, right? Without debt slaves, there is no economy. Debt slaves don't know capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative, and they will never know. It must be that way. It must be that way. This book, I've been talking to the SMD family members about this book. This book, this is going to be the title of my book, Sixth Sense, right? Six, S-I-X, for those of you guys listening in the car, SixthCents, the title of this video, Sixth Sense. And it's going to be one of those books that's it's never going to be old, ever. As long as what I'm going to try to do with this book is I'm going to try my best not to put in dates, times, building names, but some things I'm going to have to. But if I leave out the specific dates and time, the book will be forever. Like every video that I make with SMD will always be valid because there will always be debt slaves. And it's crazy because when I'm out and about, like, for example, I had to go to the doctor's office, get a checkup and do all this other stuff, right? I see these doctors and nurses in there. Some look tired. You know how bad I want to tell them, hey, I can help you be not tired. If you love your job, I can help you be not tired, but I can't really say anything, right? And now when I was flying here, when I was flying to Seattle, right, I wore my S&D shirt in the airport. I see all kind of people looking, trying to read it. Some of them come, some of them say, hey, can I read your shirt? A few times I forgot I was wearing the shirt and I would see people staring at me. I'd be like, why is that person staring at me? Like, oh, I got this shirt on. Okay, got it, right? But then some people stop me, hey, what's that shirt say? And then this one guy, he was an airline steward, and he was like, he said, can I read your shirt? And I was like, yeah, he said. And he even said that, he's like, oh, a lot of people are not going to even understand that. I was like, oh, he might be onto something. Okay, what's up, Gabriel? But I guess it's time for me just to concentrate on the book because I was thinking this way. I want to know what it feels like to actually not use any of my time to earn money. And a book would do that for me. Once I write this book, once I write this book, I won't have to do nothing. The money will just come in because listen, SMD family members, this book is forever. Why? Because debt slaves are forever. They're forever. Without, just like Willie said, debt slaves make the world go round. And this is the one thing I love about this. And Aaron can testify to this because he's in the UK. If you live in a country that the economy is capitalist, it will work for you. It doesn't matter because once you understand how this works, you will know the paper money in your country is irrelevant. It doesn't matter because debt slaves are the currency. It doesn't matter. They think it has, hey, this dollar has more value than this and that. It don't have nothing to do with the value of the dollar. It's the value of the debt slaves. That's it. Exactly, Sal. Debt slaves forever. Debt slaves are number one. I just have to find a person that's going to be able to write this book the way I need it wrote, because it has to be as perfect as it possibly can. It's time now, because before we was kind of talking about, oh, LJ, you need to buy, you need to write a book. I kept saying, no, it's not ready. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Now it's ready. Now I just have to find a person to write it. Because this book is forever, man. I want, just like when you understand that capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative, you know for a fact it's forever. Forever. Once you understand what SMD teaches, that's it. Nobody, listen, if you're new to the channel, I want you to understand this, okay? Once you understand what SMD teaches, 99% of the people in the country will not be able to financially fool you ever, especially if they don't know these three things. Capitalism is psychological, positive, and listen, what's up, Omanike? You go up to a debt slave. This is how strong I want you to understand the program is. You can go up to an average debt slave They don't even care. You can say, hey, what kind of economy are we in? They won't even know we're a capitalist country. They won't even know. And then you turn to them and say, do you care what kind of economy? They won't even care. They're just, all they do is talk about the dollar. Get that money, get the bag. And they have no idea the bag don't even exist. You go to most of these channels, right? They always tell the people, get the bag, what bag? What bag are you talking about? What you got to, and you got to remember, anybody telling you to go after money, get the bag, save money on taxes, and debt slaves can't save money on taxes, but you hear somebody say that, you're like, you just go up to a debt slave and say, are you a homeowner? And say, they're going to say, yes, I'm not wasting my money on rent. You turn to them and say, do you have a mortgage? If they say yes, you walk away, because they don't know they're not a homeowner. They're calling themselves a homeowner. People that call themselves a homeowners with mortgages obviously don't know that they're not homeowners. Then you leave the conversation. You leave it. I came back to Seattle. They have built so much here. I mean, houses everywhere. And you know the kind of houses I'm talking about. Right, stacked up next to each other, right? They all look the same, maybe a different pattern, but they all got homeowner association dues, mortgages, and guess what? They all believe they're homeowners. Hold on. They all believe they're homeowners. Every single debt slave. Robert, listen. One day, I'm gonna meet Robert Kiyosaki. Believe that, okay? Because I truly believe he will truly understand what I'm saying. But he's gonna know that my book is gonna surpass his. Thank you. It's gonna surpass his book for sure, without a doubt. I'm excited. It's ready. It's ready. Now I needed to just get it out of my head and onto some paper. It's not going to even be thick. I mean, it counts on how I'm going to tell it. And my plan is this. I'm just going to basically lay out how it happened to me, right? How it went. What's up, Nick? How it went. But you guys got to remember, shorts, put it this way. Again, SMD family members, we always talk about this. Remember back in the days, I'm 53 now, back in the days, there was only TV, cable TV, blah, blah, blah. Back then, that's how they programmed debt slaves. You couldn't, once you leave the house, you couldn't take your cable TV with you. You just had to leave it at the house. There's no taking it with you. Same good with the phone. Now, and back then, I remember every now and then, very few people would come up to me and say, hey, stop watching TV. You know why they call it TV programs and blah, blah, blah. I used to always say to myself, oh, shut up. You're crazy. TV's not programming me. Now that I'm out of the debt matrix. Oh, yeah, it was. Because I was a young debt slave. I didn't know. It's even worse now. Now it's in the palm of debt slaves' hands. They're like, oh, how are you guys are debt slaves are plugged into the debt matrix via their phones. And shorts. Debt slaves get all of their information in 30 seconds or less. Do you guys have any idea how fast they're programming debt slaves now with shorts? If you have a video that's 5 minutes long, they ain't watching that. It's got to be 30 seconds or less. It got to be a funny video. It got to be something that's going to make them laugh. Nothing, man, sometimes I'll go over to TikTok, right? And I'll type in finance. You know how many people are just telling you guys just bullshit ass information? It makes no sense. They're getting all their investment advice. Tons of people telling you how to clear, like credit report people telling you how to wipe stuff, remove stuff from your credit report. Why do you think so many people are clicking on those guys because debt slaves don't want to pay they don't want to pay their bills. They don't want to pay none. How can I get this debt removed from my credit report? You pay it off, debt slave. What are you talking about? Did you make the debt? Yeah, that means you got to pay it off. Debt slaves don't want to pay their debts. So now these people inside of TikTok, all these shorts that debt slaves pay them to say, get this removed because they don't want to pay it. So now these people are taking advantage of the debt slaves that don't want to pay back their debts. Make them pay monthly dues. I'll come across them like, what are you doing for them monthly? Nothing. Taking their money. What's up, Queen? Blindfold them with VR. Exactly. Right with through the phone. Right through the phone. They ain't going nowhere. Good luck. Good luck pulling a debt slave out of there. They ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say. Debt slaves are done. And when they get, listen, debt slaves, when they get rid of paper currency, you guys are in trouble. This is what you guys don't know, debt slaves. This is what you guys don't. Paper currency never existed for you, ever. Digital currency's been around since credit. Your whole life is credit. That's why you're making payments on your car. That's why you're making mortgage payments. That's why your payments listen, payments are signs that you don't own nothing. Owners don't make payments. Like when I buy a house, it's going to be cash. That means I have no payments. I have a car. I own them. I have a couple cars. I own the cars. That means I have no payments. That means I'm the owner. If you're making payments, you're making payments to the owner. You're not here, let me give you another example, debt slaves. Equity. You guys think equity is money. It's not. Equity is a word that the banks made up. That's not money. You have to borrow that. If you have to borrow the equity, that means it's not your money. That's what that means. You get it? Like when you own your house, you don't have to worry about the word equity unless you're going to borrow. If you took 30, put it this way, if you took 30 years, say like you paid your house off in, let's say 20 years, okay? Now you own it. In order for you to get the equity out of the house, you have to hand the title back over to the bank and say, hey, I need some more money. The bank is going to say, okay, we're going to hold the title to your house until we get back the money. You think you're going to give it back? Hell no, you're not. You're not going to do any of that. HELOC, exact. What's that? Equity line of credit or something like that? No one owns a house with a mortgage. And check this out. This is the psychological part, debt slaves. Millions of you guys believe you're homeowners with mortgages. You know how many houses are around here? It was bananas. They'll buy some farmland and put about 100 houses on it. Debt slaves got to do mortgages, homeowner insurance, homeowner association. Now, if somebody's coming around to your so-called house, telling you how your yard got to be cut, the garbage cans got to be set here, that means it's not yours. If there's a committee in your neighborhood that can tell you what you can and cannot do with your house, that means it's not your house. That's what that means. Nobody's going to be telling me what to do with my house. I can paint it any color. This is the big thing about debt slaves. Oh, at least nobody's going to come in my house. I can paint my rooms any color I want. And this is what, especially when you come across a debt slave that says that, oh, you're renting, you're throwing away money. At least I can knock out a wall in my house or paint it any color. Can you paint the outside of your house any color you want? Hell no, you can't. Soon as because they always love to throw that out there. Well, you can't do this and that. Say, can you paint the outside of your house any color you want? You can't. Okay, that means it's not yours. Bananas. Home equity line of credit. But hey, listen, that's part of business. That's why this book is going to be amazing. Debt slaves don't know credit reports are owner ledgers. They don't even know. They don't even know those are owner ledgers. Did you guys know that, debt slaves? Those are your papers. Those are your papers. What'd you say, Garcia? I tell them that they're painting the bank's house. Exactly. HOAs. Only people with mortgages and live in those housing communities where they're stacked on top of each other. Hell no, I ain't living in nothing like that. No, thank you. No. Nah. I ain't doing none of that. Sorry. What'd you say? I had a dog. I couldn't even get the fence. See what I'm saying? That's a red flag. That's when you should know that you own nothing. Oh, I got to get permission. Listen, it's my house, but I got to get permission to put the fence up. No, red flag. No. And just if you have say like you want to have a get together, you can't park more than 4 cars. You can't. Your car can't come over the sidewalk and all. Oh my God, hell no, I ain't doing none of that. Mm-mm. People driving through the neighborhood. And I can only imagine those committees, they probably think they're just king shit too. You better be nice to them. They probably get their ass kissed. Oh, hell no, I ain't doing none of that. Mm-mm. If you have a mortgage, you don't own nothing. And just think the bank says, hey, pull the equity out of the house, remodel the house. This thing, debt slaves remodel the bank's house, borrowing money against the bank's. Oh, it's just endless. Oh, I can't wait for my book, man. This is going to be absolutely, absolutely. I'm so excited. I just got to get the right person to do it. That's all. They got to know. And this is what I'm thinking too. I was thinking this the other day, and this is more for the SMD family members. I plan on going to go to see a professional psychologist, right? And I want them to, I'm gonna tell this, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna hire you, but I'm gonna ask you some questions. I want to get your professional opinion about what I've discovered. All right. That's what I'm gonna say to them. I'm gonna tell you, and hopefully I'll find a psychologist with student loan debt. That's what I'm looking for. I'm sure the majority of them have student loan debt, but I'm going to find one that's deep in student loan debt. Would you say, I really love to buy the land and do what the banks do? You think that would be expensive? Few acres, 10, 20? No, be the banks. All you got to do is follow them. The banks have it down. This is what you got to remember. Okay, this is why this is why I really want you to understand. 99% of the houses you see are bank owned. The people in them are the equity. Okay, the house. Put it this way: if the banks built all the houses with nobody in them, that they're not earning any money. They don't make money until they put the equity in them. Who's going in them? The debt slaves. Those are debt slaves. The houses are nothing without the debt slaves. Very few people will even know to look for this book, because the SMD family members know, if you speak to this about, if you talk to debt slaves about what SMD teaches, you're going to lose some friends. You're going to lose some family members. They're not going to like you. The majority of the internet is gossip. You see all these people with millions of subscribers. It's just gossip bullshit. It's nothing. And listen, that's part of it too. I don't care. I'm not jealous of him. That's part of business. That's not my business. The majority must be debt slaves. They must be debt slaves. Must be. HOAs, we have to get doc signed from them in order for certain homes to go. So, oh yeah, no HOAs. Oh wow. Wow. I bet you run into all kind of stuff, Nick. I bet you do, man. HOAs can limit the political. Oh, God damn. That should tell you right there that you own nothing. Your Christmas lights. You think I'm gonna drop? You think I'm gonna spend $300,000-$400,000? Not even spend, excuse me, a mortgage, and I can't put up the Christmas lights I want? I ain't doing none of that. That should give debt slaves a sign that they own nothing. How come that don't wake them up? That's how it's supposed to be. Even when I write this book, you got to remember, Robert Kiyosaki's book is more debt slave friendly, because he's got these quadrants. Hey, I got the E quadrant and the I quadrant and blah, blah, blah. That really means nothing. Okay. That's just for debt slaves to believe something. Okay. The quadrants don't exist, debt slaves. That's just something that Robert Kiyosaki made up, and it sells. It's more of like a competition thing. Hey, I'm in the E quadrant. You're in the I quadrant. You better be over here. No, nothing. That means nothing. That's a book selling thing. Okay, it sells books. My book is going to change your life forever. It's never going. Once you learn what SMD teaches, there is no going back. You cross over. This. So if you're new to the channel, let me tell you what it does. My book will bring you from the negative side to the positive side of the economy. And once you come to the positive side of the economy, that is it. There is no going back to the negative side of the economy. None. Zero. Once you go, put it, the Matrix, put it like the Matrix movie, okay? Once you get to the positive side of the economy, and then you go back and watch the movie The Matrix, you're like, oh, damn, they knew already. Yes, they knew. And I was talking about this to the SMD family members. Agent Smith is your ego trying to prevent you from coming to the positive side of the economy. That's what it's doing. It's trying to stop you from saying, hey, you can't do this and that. That's all, because that's what he's there for. It's important for the majority of debt slaves to remain debt slaves until they're dead. The majority of people will die debt slaves. And you got to remember, this can be your family members. This can be your kids. It's going to be, once you cross to the positive side of the economy and you understand how it works, it's going to be hard for you to see your family members be debt slaves. It's very hard for me today. I got to just be quiet. We all know. I'm going off the grid. No, not in HOA community that charges you $100 a month for life just to live. Oh, hell no, I'm not doing none of that. There's only two states debts. There's only two states debt state and above zero. What'd you say? There's only two states. Am I reading that wrong? Am I reading that wrong, Nick? There's only two states, debt state and above zero. Oh, okay. You're saying state. I'm looking at the word state wrong. Okay. Negative. There's the negative side and there's the positive side. Once you go to the positive side, there's no going back. Period. What you say, Gabriel? They got the masses like Freddy Krueger on the Elm Street, always in a nightmare, psychological, always. And I was thinking today as I'm driving, it's time for this book. It is. It's time for the book. I don't really know what else to say to debt slaves anymore. They ain't listening. They ain't paying attention. They don't care. And I get it. It's part of it, you know. Do they want to know? They're curious. I saw a lot of debt slaves in the airport. They were very curious. They were very curious, but they too nervous to ask, who is this guy? They always look at me weird. Whatever. I want to stop and say, do you know who I am? You probably don't. You probably never will either. We say, Fresh. I've been a slave. I was doing good listening to you, but I fell off. And let me tell you something, Fresh. Let me tell you something. That's part of the process. Okay, you got to remember. And I don't know how I'm assuming that's your birth date. Okay, 79. So that means you're 43. If that's your birthday, right? You've been in the debt matrix for 40 years. The debt matrix is not going to let you go easy. It takes work. People fall off. This is what it is, because you're in a society where everybody that looks like they have money. When I go around in public, it's like the Matrix. I see the debt slaves just running around, driving nice cars, this and that, but all that stuff is bank owned. If they're making payments, think about it. I want you guys to really understand the picture, okay, so you can see what world you'll be living in. The majority of what you see is bank owned. The bank owns 99% of what you see. It doesn't matter if they're driving a nice car. It doesn't matter if they're living in a fancy house. It doesn't matter if they're wearing gold and jewelry, nice clothes, Gucci this. If they're making payments, it doesn't matter what they have on. They don't know that. They don't know that they own nothing. That's the psychological part. Debt slaves don't know you cannot buy a house with a mortgage. If they knew that, they wouldn't do it. Debt slaves don't know you can't buy a car with a car loan. You can't buy a phone with a loan. If you're making payments on your phone, that means you have no money. If you're making phone payments, not phone service, because you don't own the phone company. I have to pay, since I don't own my own phone company, I have to pay for service, but I do own my phone. Debt slaves believe it's normal to make phone payments. That's embarrassing. We say, max my credit card back out and went and bought a bigger house. See? All you got to do is this, Fresh. Go to your credit report and take a look at all your owners. Go within your credit, go past the credit score and look at all the businesses that own you. Now it's up to you. How long you gonna have that? How long you gonna let that be? It's even harder for you, Fresh, because you know now. You know you own nothing. That's even harder. You know they own you. You know it. It takes some big balls to say, I don't own this house and leave it. It takes big balls. It takes big balls to know that you're debt slave. Believe it or not, that is a positive thing. There are millions of debt slaves. They don't even know they're debt slaves. That's step number one, Fresh. You have to know that. That's step number one. You know you're a debt slave. There's debt slaves riding around here in brand new electric vehicles. You know how many Teslas I saw out here in Seattle? This was bananas. Everywhere I was looking, I was seeing a Tesla. All those debt slaves believe they're saving money on gasoline. No, they're not. You can't save money on gasoline in a finance Tesla. Who told you that? Tesla? The bank? You see these people charge. I saw a whole row of Teslas being charged at the mall. They all think they're cool. Sitting at a charging station for 45 minutes. Are you crazy? I want to next time I probably won't, but I want to go up to a person that you see charging their car, a Tesla, and say, would you sit at a gas station for 45 minutes? Then why are you doing it for an electric car? Because you have no choice. Debt slave. You're a debt slave. They're wasting. They finance a Tesla, right? Hold on for a second. But I'm sorry, you guys. Hold on for a second. Just a second. I'm not at home. Just a second. Sorry about that. Now, you got to think about this way so you guys can understand this. Okay, see what debt slaves have traded. They went from financing a gas car, pull up to the gas pump, and be in and out of there 5 to 10 minutes pumping their gas. They now go to a charger, if there's one available, and sit at the charger for 30 minutes. And they think it's not a big deal. Oh, whatever. I'm saving money on gas. But now instead of saying you're losing the time in your life, they have no choice. So this is what they're going to do. If they haven't already, companies, they're going to take advantage of debt slaves parked at charging stations, set up coffee stands, food places, sell them sandwiches and chips and everything because they ain't got no choice. They're sitting there. Are you bananas, debt slaves? You got to be absolutely bananas. Hell no. If you're making phone payments, you are definitely in trouble. You have hit, you have hit rock bottom. You have. If you finance your cell phone, you're rock bottom. You're like bottom of the barrel debt slaves. You got a brand new phone you're making payments on for 2 years. you are in trouble. That's why this book is going to be phenomenal. Debt slaves get a new phone every single year. Every year. Here in Miami, all I see is Teslas. Embarrassing. 90, those are all, you think the bank carries, like, put it this way. When the economy went bad, and then Tesla goes, hey, we dropping the price of Teslas $30,000. You think they wanted to do that? No, the bank called them up and said, hey, we're not financing your Teslas for that much money anymore. Elon had to do that because debt slaves have no money to buy Teslas. They have to finance them. And if the bank tells Tesla, we're not paying that price for that car, Tesla has to drop if they want to sell any cars. That's how it works. People like, oh, Elon's so cool, he dropped the price. No, Elon had to do that. That's not a choice. He had to do that. Else he wouldn't sell any cars. Elon has to do what the banks say because the banks own everything. That's the same with housing prices. Housing prices are dictated by the banks because the debt slaves have no money to buy houses. They're like, oh, this is so crazy, okay? I try to limit myself on what debt slaves speak. Oh man, did you hear about that guy that got stabbed up, the founder of CashApp? What that got to do with anything? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, the digital currency. What about it? Debt slaves, man, debt slaves are in trouble. You guys just believe anything, verify nothing. Bottom of the barrel, baby. It's refreshing to be back. I needed it. Hey, Fresh, I want you to remember, okay? Even though you fell off, it's part of your journey. You use this. I want you to do this. I want you to understand this. This is how hard it is to break the program. That's how difficult it is. This is not easy. So when you do it, when you finally do it, because it's already in you, it's already in you. It's too late. You've been shot with the SMD shot. It's in you. Okay. When you finally get to the positive side, being on the positive side of zero, what I mean, you're going to remember these hard lessons. You're going to remember them because you got to feel it. You got to feel it. And when you do, you're going to, I can't really explain that part, but once you do, you're going to remember. Chapter 7 is always an option. Can sell later, be smart. Chapter 7, listen, Chapter 7 is a legal tool. If you need to use Chapter 7, you use it. You go see a lawyer, a professional lawyer that knows exactly what to do, and you do it. And you will be free. Chapter 7 is there for a reason. Don't listen to debt slaves. Oh, don't be a loser. Only losers, people that don't understand finances use chapter. No, that's not true. Else it wouldn't be there. Okay, Chapter 7's a tool. I heard LJ car payments are going to the freaking, sure is. I've been posting about that. These car dealerships, they'll go through the people that work at the car dealerships. Hey, what kind of car you got? Oh, I got a 2023 Corvette. How much are your payments? $1,500. They be saying that shit on camera. Proud of it. Proud, and they work at the dealerships. I'm from a small city in the South, and all I seen was Teslas on the highway last weekend. Most of them had license plates from my state, and none of them own. All of them, listen, all of them believe they're saving money on gasoline. No, you're not. They're not saving nothing. Bank-owned Teslas. Bank-owned. Kind of hard if you have family already downsizing, might have to just thug it out. Yeah, it counts on your situation, because if it's more than just you and you have a wife and kids and they don't understand what this means, that's very difficult. It is. But once you understand what SMD teaches, you ain't gonna have no choice, because you're either gonna die a debt slave, The choice is up to you. If you want to die a debt slave or you want to know what it's like to be free. I didn't own myself until I was, I got out of debt totally at 44, I believe it was. 44? Yeah, 44. And then I worked one more year, and I want to explain this to you because I want people to understand what it's like to be debt free and have a job. I worked one more year as a debt free person. Your job experience is going to be totally 100% different. 100%. You're going to have a different attitude. People at work are going to know you're different because you're not going to hold back. You're not going to be worried about the boss or when the big people come in the office. Hey, you better. No, you're going to be like, hey, I'm here to do my job. I do my job good. I don't care if the big wig, blah, blah, blah is coming in. I'm here to do business, period. I'm not your friend. They're not. The big wig is not my daddy. I'm not going to be kissing ass, nothing. Those days are done. Yes, he is. Donald Trump is a marketing genius. Put it this way, when I look at Donald Trump, right, that is a man that obviously knows because he always says this. Oh, I don't pay taxes legally, right? I don't pay taxes. Debt slaves don't know what that means. When debt slaves hear Donald Trump say he don't pay taxes, they think, oh, he doesn't pay taxes because he's rich or he knows somebody. No, debt slaves. Debt slaves cannot save money on taxes. That's why they'll never understand what it means. Taxes help you build wealth. Debt slaves don't know that and never will. I was talking to my homeboy, and he went and leased a new Range Rover, $2,000 a month. You know what that is, Fresh? I'm gonna give you an example of what that is. You see what Elon did? He paid. He made people pay for blue check marks. Same thing Instagram did. People want to pretend to be something that they're not, and they'll pay for it. That's why they pay $2,000 for a Range Rover and own nothing. He sure is. He is the GOAT. Queen says Uber and Lyft are both sham companies that put the local cab companies out of business. After each passenger pays for their rides and drivers get the tips, but the cuts are not enough even to pay. Well, it's just business. You don't really have to add sham. It's just business. You know, they even like the Uber and Lyft companies. They even let people lease their cars. Can you imagine somebody buying a car from Uber and Lyft and working for them? That is bananas. All of the like Uber and Lyft people, they all think they're working for themselves. They ain't working for themselves. They're in debt. Debt slave here? No, I wouldn't really consider you a debt slave, Arlene. You got your house. You're almost there. But there are many truths happening with the shift to digital currency. Yes, we have talked about it, and it's happening. Digital, and this S&D family members, I want you guys to understand something. Digital currency has always been here. Debt slaves have paper money is just a trick. They think it means something. Listen. All you got to do is go to the Federal Reserve's website and see how much they print money for. That tells you that it's psychological. It's not really there. It's to make debt slaves feel good. Hey, think about it this way. You know when they said President, what was the president that removed the dollar from the gold standard? What was his name? What was the president? Nixon, right? Oh, that's when the dollar changed and this. No, it didn't. It didn't. It would never existed for you, debt slave. Gold had nothing to do with it. You're the gold, debt slaves. You're the gold. You're the silver. You're the paper money. You're the diamonds. You're the cryptocurrency. You guys are everything. It means nothing. At least with a lease, you can get rid of it the next year. Much different than the car payments. That's where you're incorrect, really, bro. Lease and payments and nothing, that don't mean anything. Okay, that's a trick. That's why they say, hey, they got to make it less or something, right? So they make lease payments a little bit less and they try to make lease and buying different. It's exactly the same. It's no different. Buy your Tesla if you really want a Tesla, because one day I'm gonna get one, right? And it might not be a Tesla, but there's so many different electric cars coming out. I'm gonna have a paid off, buy it in cash, and I'm gonna have a supercharger at home. I'm not going to know. They're like, you got to have electric car etiquette. Don't park next to another one because it slows down. Hell no, I ain't doing none of that. None of that. I haven't worked since 2020. Going back this year. Wish me luck. Okay. You got to put in some hours, man. You gotta own yourself. I hope so. You got to get in there. Still got to pay for the car to drive for Uber. I still have yet to see an Uber driver drive a Tesla. I've seen a couple of I've been seeing a couple of Uber drivers with Teslas, but if they're making payments, it really doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. They're not saving any money. I buy a Lexus or If I buy a Lexus or a Benz, it will be an older version. I don't like too many touch screens all over the place and all the Christmas lights. I'm with you, Sals. I saw, what was I looking at the other day? I was looking at God, what's the name of that? It looks like it's a truck, electric truck, not a Ford or anything. It's got some funny looking headlights, right? But they came out with an SUV. I mean, the whole thing is digitized. The first thing I was thinking to myself, what happens when one of those things go out? Hey, and that's what they're going to scare a debt slave that's going to finance one. Hey, man, if this goes out, it's going to be like $20,000 to replace. You better get an extra extended warranty. And guess what debt slaves are going to do? They're going to finance the car and the extended warranty. Poor debt slaves. And back to the main subject. I don't know, man. I know you guys like, hey, where's LJ, man? How come he hasn't been coming on? What else is there to say to debt slaves about them? They're just going to do what they're going to do. Be lost in shorts, be lost in internet gossip. I mean, there's more and more channels talking about stuff, about other people, other channels. I mean, it's like, it's business. I get it. It's business. It's business. Well, paper money doesn't exist. This is what, hey, really, bro, this is why I want you to, I'm going to show you right now. Paper money doesn't exist for you because you told me that you're in debt, right? So I want you to hold some paper money in your hand. Okay. Just pull out a 20, 100, or whatever you got, right? And then I want you to open up the calculator. I want you to put in 100 minus, you said you have a mortgage, minus your mortgage payment, okay? And then when you hit equal, I just want you to listen to me. According to the calculator, you don't have $100 in your hand. Now, here's the psychological part. Which do you believe? Do you continue to believe you have $100 in your hand, or do you believe you don't? That's the door that's going to exit the debt matrix. Money doesn't exist for people in debt at all. Nothing. Pretend you swapped out that $100 bill for $100 worth of gold. Okay. According to the calculator, you don't have $100 worth of gold in your hand. And then now pretend you swapped it out for $100 worth of cryptocurrency. If the calculator could talk, it would say, really, bruh? I don't care what you put in your hand. You ain't got $100 of nothing. This is where you gotta, which one do you believe? What the calculator's telling you, or believe the psychological money in your hand? The value of anything is determined by who's holding it, who's telling you about the value of something. So if your friends are telling you about their investment, hey, I've invested in XYZ. Okay, say like you have a buddy that loves to tell you about investing. You turn to them and say, do you have a mortgage? If they say yes, they're talking psychologically. You can't invest in anything while you have a mortgage. Nothing. The psychological part is they don't know that. They don't know they're not investing in anything if you have a mortgage. Now, think about all of the people with mortgages that believe they're investing in something. They don't know that they're not. They don't know that you cannot invest in it. You can't invest in retirement. You can't buy shoes. You can't buy food. You can't do nothing. Those are debt slaves. They're important. Debt slaves are number one. All the S&D family members, we all know debt slaves are number one. I might even get a shirt for that. Debt slaves are number one. They're gonna be like, who's a debt slave? You debt slave? You making car payments? I'm talking about you. I should get that shirt so they can ask, what's a debt slave? Are you making car payments? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Is that the brand new iPhone? Yeah, I'm talking to you. That probably gets you in a fight. Don't do that. Wait until cryptocurrency becomes king. Oh, that's coming. This was so funny. This was so funny. Debt slaves don't know. Crypto, the US is just letting people with cryptocurrency. Oh, the banks don't like it. They're so stupid when they talk. They talk like that. The banks don't like it. No, the banks control everything. And then once they fine tune the central bank digital currency, guess what they're going to do? They're just going to outlaw all the rest. Why? Because that's how the country is. They're going to outlaw all the rest and CB. No different than paper money right now. Can you come and say, hey, I'm going to start my own paper currency? No, you can't. Not here in the US, you can. You want to go to prison? They're not going to allow that. So the same thing with this, they're just working out all the kinks and this and that. Then they're going to say, hey, central bank digital currency is the only one you can use here in the US. And then that'll be that. That's coming. But you guys also got to remember, currency, debt slaves are the currency. It's them. It doesn't matter the form that they see, digital or paper, because it's them. They don't know that. Second doesn't want it to happen. The banks are failing. Crash will have to happen. The banks are not failing. Okay, that's all the trick. You know, maybe some banks that didn't play by the rules are out of here, but the banks are not failing. Without the banks, the economy doesn't exist. People got to understand that. Oh, what do you think is going to happen? Anybody that, put it this way, anybody that talks to you about banks failing, and this is very important, okay, really, bro, this is very important. Anybody coming up to you talking about banks failing, cryptocurrency, blah, 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 you turn to them and say, is that phone financed in your hand? If they say yes, you don't listen to them. You don't take any kind of financial advice from a person with a finance phone in their hand. Okay, don't do it. Do you have a mortgage? Yeah. Do you have car payments? Yeah. Shut up. I'm not listening to you. You don't listen to people making car payments talk about the economy. Anybody talk, this is what you got to do. These are questions you can ask debt slaves. They won't know why you're asking, okay? They come to you talking about, hey, digital currency, cryptocurrency. You say, is that phone finance? Yeah. You just don't listen to them no more. You making car payments? Yeah. Don't listen to them. Those are debt slaves. You don't talk to debt slaves. You don't. Is that phone finance? Yeah, shut up. Don't know. Man, did you hear about that guy? The guy that created the CashApp? Somebody stabbed him up. That means the government. Is that phone finance in your hand? Did you get that information from your finance phone? Yes. I'm not listening to you. You're making phone payments. What's up, down south? What's going on, sir? I pay debt slaves no more. Hey, listen, Sal's is right. Once you reach a certain level, it's like the Matrix. All the people are going to be walking around in the background. You're not going to be paying attention to them until you create a business. Once you create a business, that's when debt slaves become important. But until then, you don't pay attention to what they buy, where they go on vacation, what's the latest this and that, and muscle cars, that and this and that. You don't pay attention to any of that. And be proud of that. Be proud of that. Once you create your own business, you're going to do like Apple, right? Change the lenses around so debt slaves can identify different phones. Because once they put phone covers on, debt slaves can't tell what version of iPhone you might have. So the Apple came up with and said, hey, if we just switch the lenses around and say it does this and that. So when debt slaves see other iPhones, they'll know that's the latest and greatest. That's how they work, because they make statements. It says, I remember watching Iron Man and seeing Elon Musk in the scene. I remember that too. Saying to myself, is he the real tech billionaire of Iron Man? He probably is. I'm gonna meet him one day, man. He's having fun. He's going to Mars. How? Debt slaves. Debt slaves financing his cars. Finance laptops, even their phones. Yep. Listen, you think debt slaves can afford to pay cash for Apple products? Hell no. Hell no. How are Apple products priced? By what the banks will pay for them. You think Apple can just set the price of their product anything they want? No, they can't. They got to go according to the bank. How much will the bank finance a laptop for? That's the prices set. The banks set the prices because debt slaves have no money to buy anything. You think it? Look how many iPhones. Listen, look how many iPhones every single year Apple sells. Okay. You think it costs $1,500, $1,600, $1,700? Listen, you see the price of their little earpods, the iPhone Air, blah, blah, blah. You think they really cost that much to make? No. They go to the bank says, hey, this is how much we're gonna pay, finance your little stupid ass AirPod thingies, Then Apple says, okay, that's what we're gonna sell it for. How much will you finance them for? I posted the article about his death in your Discord. Oh, okay. I haven't went over there and looked. I don't know. I've been telling you guys. I don't know. I'm running out of things to talk about debt slaves. We all know. Basically, we already know our economies, UK economy, Canadian economy. It really doesn't matter. The debt slaves are the currency. Who has the best stock? Right now, obviously, the United States of America has the best stock. They do. Of debt slaves. A few billionaires could lobby for it, maybe. That's how most things happen. Well, you got to remember, most billionaires already know the banks run everything. That's why they're billionaires. Once you understand this, you can become a billionaire too. It's not really, listen, when I get this book written, this is going to be a forever book. There's not going to be another book like it ever. Well, I'm not going to say ever. No, there's always people that's going to, always. But I'm just saying, there's not going to be another book like mine. I'm excited about it. Now is the time. I just had to, because you got to remember, when I was first coming up, I thought I could see. I went through different phases. I got to zero. I could see negative numbers. I got all my videos talking about just through my different phases, right? But I know the final phase is the Sixth Sense. I know that's it. That's the answer. Now, LJ, the AI revolution. Yep, it is. It could run a lot of businesses out unless they keep up the. Now, you got to remember, okay, this is what I want you guys to understand something, okay? I know you guys see it looks like machines are taking over human jobs, which it is. But you got to remember, machines are not debt slaves. Machines don't consume. Without debt slaves, there is no economy. Debt slaves are the only ones that consume. Machines don't consume. This is just what we're seeing right now is just evolution. It's just a new change, no different than the past. Everything changes. All right. The majority of debt slaves are going to be delivering our shit 24 hours a day. That's basically like today. Okay, this is what happened. Today was the first time I went into an Amazon Fresh. Okay, they got cameras set up everywhere. You don't have to talk to nobody. You come in, scan your credit card. Now, I wasn't. This is the first time into a Fresh, so that you could walk in and scan your card and walk in, or you can walk through in like a regular customer. And then, so what I did was I went to get the stuff that I wanted to get. I went to a regular checkout, and then I used my credit card to buy the stuff, and then I left. Right, I'm walking out. I get an email from Amazon Fresh that said, "Hey, thank you for shopping." I was like, "How the fuck you? How you know?" Oh, my credit card was tied to my Amazon account, and they sent me an email saying thank you. I was like, "Oh, that was pretty smooth. I like that. That was pretty." Now, nobody needed. I didn't need any help from anybody, right? And now you see no people, but remember, humans are the only ones that consume. Machines don't consume. There is no economy without people. People are the economy. Debt slaves. You got to evolve with the new time. If you don't evolve, you're going to be what? Delivering shit. That's what you're going to be doing. One day, I always tell the SMD family members, one day there's going to be 24-hour delivery. And if you don't evolve, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be delivering shit at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock p.m. I had a delivery say, "Hey, your package is going to be arriving by 10 p.m. tomorrow night." 10 p.m. You got people out there delivering stuff at 10 p.m. Oh no, no, thank you. I agree with you. I agree with you when you say it doesn't take 30 years to buy a house, but what people do is wait for their house to go up in value and sell it and pay back the mortgage. Well, you got to remember, Outrageous TV. If you believe you could buy a house with a mortgage, you believe you could buy a house with a mortgage. I guess it's totally up to you. According to the laws of mathematics, you can't buy a house with a mortgage. But if you decide to go against the laws of mathematics, which are never wrong, you believe what you want to believe. Okay, it only takes one day to buy a house. It doesn't take 30 years. It doesn't take 30 years to buy a house, but that's a program, Outrageous. A mortgage can't buy a house. It can't. That's impossible. When the sale happens, most people blow the money back to square one. If you can't sell it to buy a house, cheaper house, it, it that's a program. Hey, I'm gonna buy this house and then I'm gonna sell it, let it get the equity. That's the banks made up that banks made up that program. That's not nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Do you believe there will be a cashless society, a world where we don't use money? Do you think this is good thing or bad thing? There's no money today. Debt slaves have no money. Money doesn't. Debt slaves are the money. And this is, I always like to prove this. I don't know if you have any debt, Outrageous TV. This is what I want you to do if you do. If you're making car payments, hold some money in your hand, open up the calculator app in the other. Okay. Take the money in your hand, minus your car payment, and hit equal. The calculator says you have no money in your hand. But if you want to believe you do, you do. But remember, the calculator's never wrong. Okay. Just always remember that. Debt slaves have no money because they are the money. The calculator proves this. When your book is published, please let us know. Oh, you guys will be the first to know so I can buy it and read it before passing it on. Debt slaves need a real education. But you got to put it this way, Queen. Debt slaves, I want you guys to all understand something. Debt slaves have no idea what I'm talking about. That's the psychological part. Okay. They don't know what I'm saying. They don't know what I'm talking about. Why? Because it's against the laws of mathematics for them to. This is a language that they don't get it. I know you guys hear me talking English. You see me using basic arithmetic. They don't know. They can't hear me. And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's how it is, and that's how it will always be. I used to be doing Uber Eats in the evening and at midnight. And midnight. God damn. Debt slaves, listen, you guys don't even really get how serious this is. Debt slaves are financing their fast food. Debt slaves are financing their fast food to be delivered to their house. How do you think they're doing that? Credit cards. Can you imagine that? They're financing their fast food to be delivered to their house. And most of you guys, this is what you guys don't know. If you do this one day, if you dare. When you have your food delivered, go out and look at the car of the person that's delivering your food. Don't just watch them drive, wait by the window if you have to. And then as soon as you pull up, you come out to them so you can look at the inside of their car. I'm not having my food delivered by somebody's car that looks that nasty. Are you crazy? No, thank you. And on top of that, if you're a food, listen, if you're a food deliverer and you're in debt, I guarantee you're not paying your taxes. You're not. You're not paying your taxes. You're owned. You know how many food delivery people that haven't filed their taxes for like 4 or 5 years? That means you're owned. You're owned. Elon has a humanoid robot coming out called Optimus Tesla. Will sell in the future. Yeah, Elon's brilliant, man. I hope to meet him one day. I really do. Yes, they do, Gabriel. 40-year FHA mortgage. Why do you think they do that, Gabriel? So they can sell all these houses that they're built. Banks, those are bank-owned houses. All these communities, they all want. this was fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. This is fucked up. They already tell you the American dream. Why do they call it that? Because you're dreaming if you think you own a house with a mortgage. You're dreaming. They tell they tell the debt slaves right to their face, "Hey, you want to own a piece of the American dream? How? With a mortgage, debt slave? You're dreaming." They tell you to your face. They're not hiding it. They're not hiding anything. Nothing. AI takes over, they'll have to come out with universal basic income. Perfect. Yeah, they do. They come out with that basic income. Debt slaves are done. Done. They got financing car plans for Uber drivers. I've seen that. Sure do. Can you put it this way? Can you imagine this? Imagine Uber financing a car for the person that's driving for them. So that means they can automatically, you guys got to look at the connection, what they're doing. That means they can automatically take the money out of the check before they give them, they don't have to worry about missing car payments unless they not work for Uber, but unless they're not driving. But they could automatically take the money out of their check before they give them their money. Isn't that brilliant? When you own your own business as an SMD family member, you got to take advantage of debt slaves just like that. That's just business. It's nothing personal, nothing. I agree. There is no money. The people are the money for sure. The money we use is fiat currency, fiat money. Try to remove the word fiat. Those are bank terms. Those are made up bank terms. Fiat has nothing to do with nothing. It's not backed by nothing. It doesn't. It's backed by debt slaves. Period. Okay. A wise man told me they print money. They don't print time. Don't listen. Don't even listen to any of that. Debt slaves are the money. Nothing with fiat and backed by anything. It's backed by debt slaves. Period. Debt slaves are the money. And when they go full digital currency, of course they're going there. Paper money's just in the way. You know how much money they're going to save? Listen, do you know how much money the central bank is going to save by not printing it? They're not going to print it. They now they can keep track. This is what you guys okay. Pay attention to this. When you go to restaurants now, right? Which makes no sense. I say no, right? I go up to get my food, and before I pay for my food, they're asking for a tip. You guys didn't even give me nothing yet. You think I'm gonna tip you for doing absolutely nothing? I don't know if your service is good or not, and you want me to tip you. I say no tip. I'm not tipping you nothing. I'm here to get my food. You should be happy that I'm here just buying your food. Now, if I'm sitting down at the restaurant, right, and they're serving me, and I get a service, and the reason why they do that is so now they can keep track of all the tips. Because before, when you leave paper money for tips, they can claim it, not claim it, but now they get, man, freaking brilliant, brilliant. How is the Matrix at it is book? What you say? How is the Matrix at? I'm not sure what you're saying there. Okay. The people are investing in is going to be used in the future. The newbies will get it after it has skyrocketed for a higher price. Well, you gotta remember debt slaves are raised. Debt slaves are important. You guys got to really understand that debt slaves are very crucial to the economy. All you got to do is go up to a debt slave. I told you guys earlier, go up to a debt slave and say, hey, what kind of economy are we in? They won't even know that we're capitalist. Anybody give this is the easiest way too. Anybody telling you financial advice, you say, what kind of economy are we in? If they don't know, you better not take your financial advice from them. They don't even know what kind of economy we're in. Better not do that. Without debt slaves, the money's useless for sure. There is no economy without debt slaves. I'm man, up here in Seattle, the streets are, I mean, cars everywhere, houses and buildings going up. Who do you think owns all that? The banks. They own everything. Everything. You think debt slaves don't own businesses? They own businesses too. Just because, listen, don't think debt slaves are not business owners. They're too. Well, they think they're business owners. They own nothing. Same here, tipping for you to ring up my order. Hell no, I'm with you, Willie. I don't do that, man. Hey, listen, even so crazy. They try to. I don't know what they try. They try to make you feel bad or embarrass you. I don't. Where's the no tip? I'm not tipping. No tip. Hit the. I went and got some teriyaki the other day. What what popped up? Hey, the tip 15, 20%. I said, where's the no tip? I'm not tipping. I'm picking it up myself. You think I'm gonna tip you? No. The book, The Matrix, at its. I was talking about marriage. The book, The Matrix, at it is talking about marriage. So you think digital currency is better? Will this be better for people? No, it'd be better for business. Digital currency is better for business. It's not better for people. People are the debt slaves. It doesn't matter what they think or how they feel. Debt slaves they're irrelevant when it comes to talking about money. They're important about it, but they are the money. Debt slaves are the currency. It doesn't matter what debts. Listen, digital currency has been here for decades. It's called credit. Digital currency is not new. All right, it's not new at all. Yeah, they got debt slaves financing tipping. Yeah, you're exactly right, Jesus. Debt slaves are financing tipping. They do you guys so dirty, debt slaves. Dirty, dirty debt slaves. You guys are financing tips. I'm not tipping nobody that's not doing anything for me. I'm not doing that. Just put the tip machine right up there. Okay, you want me to tip before I actually pay? No, I'm not doing that. No, you just be happy that I'm here. No, exactly, Nick. Hold on. Let me get this straight. You want me to tip you for pulling up in my car, using my gas to come to your place of business, walk in, sit down, wait for whatever you're getting, and then you want me to tip you for the privilege for shopping at you? No, I'm not doing that. No. Mm-mm. I don't care if you say it loud. I don't care if you say it in front of people that are in the line. The answer is no. I'm not tipping nothing. Fucking crazy, man. I ain't doing none of that. You're not embarrassing me. I just want to go to a person because some stores they'll kind of like it's a subtle pressure. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I look them right in the eye and say, "Where's the no tip? I'm not tipping," and I'll say it loud too. I don't care who's in line. So what? But hey, listen. But if you own a business, you set it up. You set up the tip thing. If I own my business, I would set up the tip thing because that's how business is done. I just want them to know that I'm not a debt slave. I don't care what you're not pressuring me to tip for nothing. I'm not doing none of that. All you guys, all you workers that have been not claiming your tips on your taxes, those days are done. The government's getting all that money now, all of it, all of it. Food orders are not the only ones that ask to be tipped. Checkouts, some smaller shops. I heard Walmart's are asking customers if they want to tip 15%. Oh, you crazy? No way. Nada. Not doing none of that. I wish I could see Nick's face with no. Nope. I'm not a debt slave. No. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Queen. I noticed, LJ, for the past 3 years that food is psychological. What do you mean by that, Gabriel? What do you mean food is psychological? What's that mean? They do. They finance. You got to remember, outrageous. Debt slaves have no money, so everything they buy is finance. So here's the bigger picture. We're going to step outside the debt matrix for a second. Everything is finance for debt slaves. Water, hamburgers, shoes, because they have no money for nothing. So the price for us outside the debt matrix. So say like this, you go to McDonald's, right? And your order came up to $10. For us on the positive side, the meal costs $10. For debt slaves, it counts on the percentage rate of their credit card, how much that meal costs. Do they make minimum payments? Obviously they do. They make minimum payments. So imagine how much a $10 meal at McDonald's is for a debt slave. It's not the same price. The sale price of anything, when you see a sale price of let's say a blanket, this is on sale for this. That's for cash buyers only. They're not talking about people who finance it. That's the cash buyers. Should I ask for a C19 risk discount for eating in? What's a C19? What's that? Yeah, we don't, S&D family members, we don't do pressure. We don't care how you feel. It doesn't matter. You can say it loud. Hey, you're going to tip? I don't care. Why are you speaking loud? You think I'm going to change my mind? I'm not a debt slave. I know you don't know what that means, but if you're behind the counter getting paid $13 an hour, you probably don't know what I'm talking about anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the answer is no. Hey, would you like to get to, especially when I go to what is that, TJ Maxx? I was there the other day. I was going in there to buy a couple of items. The lady said to me, "Hey, would you like 10% off your items today if you sign up for the credit card?" I almost laughed in her face. I was like, "Do you know who I am?" And you obviously don't know why. I didn't say that, but I was like, "No, no." Example: people consume junk food a lot, knowing it's bad for you. Yep, but for a little pressure, knowing eating be vegetables and lean meat are healthy, but debt slaves don't want to do that. Just think, debt slaves finance junk food. They're making a killing. Like, here's an example. Okay, I remember I was picking up my food at some restaurant. Okay, and this is what you guys got to pay attention to. If you ever go to a restaurant to pick up some food and you're waiting, oh, your food's not, have a seat over there. Okay, look at the people that are picking up food for delivery. Just look at them. Half those people I wouldn't want delivering my food. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. No, y'all don't want you. I don't know if you're going in my bag. I don't know what you're doing. Because some of these videos I watch on YouTube, they're talking about, hey, I've been working 24 hours straight delivering food and this and that. What about a shower? When are you eating? Are you eating my food? No. Excuse me. Cash buyers only. The sale price of anything is for cash buyers. So think about it. Think about it this way. When you hear a debt slave, let's go back to mortgages for a second. When you hear a debt slave say, "Oh, I got this house for $350," you turn to him and say, "Did you buy it in cash?" No, you didn't get that house for $350. Are you crazy? You can't say that, but they really believe they got the price of the house that they saw it for. They really believe that. Congratulations, bank. That's why my book is man, you guys don't even understand how this book is gonna be. This book is gonna live forever. I'm only gonna need to write this one book, which I'm probably gonna write another one, but this one book is forever. You see how long Robert Kiyosaki been selling Rich Dad Poor Dad? Forever, because it's the same. My book is gonna top his book. I promise you that. It's gonna top his book. Number one, I didn't know I was gonna be, listen, I did not know I was gonna be a world-renowned author. I did not know that. I already know that before it's gonna happen. How about when they ask you to round? That is funny, Garcia. I ain't gonna lie, that's funny. would round up for a donation? Or would you like to donate for this or that? No, I donate to charities outside of what you're how are you going to decide to donate a charity as you're checking out? That's brilliant though. But when you listen, if you open up a business, you better start doing that. They don't even tell you how much they're going to donate. They don't even tell you. It could be 5% of what you gave them. It don't matter. The big question is, what if nobody was in debt? What would our society be like? We'll never know, because that'll never happen, ever. Economies wouldn't exist. So outrageous, to answer your question, outrageous, don't worry about it, because that will never, ever happen, ever. Okay, so that's something you don't have to worry about. They try to pressure to sell me into a credit card every time I'm at Banana Republic. They claim I will get a discount. I know I'm not going into debt for $10 off, but you're not a debt slave. You get to walk. Listen, Nick, the price of Banana Republic for you is different for the price for debt slaves. Financing a shirt. If you're if you're financing a shirt, you're in trouble. Thrift stores ask for a roundup for donations, but I say, nope, don't ask me again. Don't ask me. Eating bad programs for your brain, bad eating good yep. That's for exactly, Nick. That's for debt slaves. That's for debt slaves. I'm not no debt slave. I almost say it out loud. I've seen it all. S&D. I was doing Uber Eats as a side thing. No, if you're out there, listen. If you're out there making bread, I'm not saying that just because you're debt's free, you're not working, right? It's different. It's different. It's different. Credit cards and credit scores don't matter. If you have cash, don't matter at all. Outrageous TV. I want you to understand this. I don't know if you were already in here. Credit reports are owner ledgers. They keep track of all the businesses that own you. I am the only one, listen, I want you to listen to me closely. I am the only one on the internet that has ever shown his entire credit report. I'm talking like I'm third person. My entire credit report on the internet. Nobody has done that. Nobody will do that. Anybody that you follow on the internet that certified financial planner and they're certified in this and they got a degree, you say, fuck all that. Show me your credit report. Show it to me. They won't. You know why? Because they're debt slaves, giving and selling financial advice, and they're in debt. Are you crazy? No. Now, I want you guys to really let that soak in. I'm the only one on the internet showing. Go try to find another video. YouTube has millions of people on the internet, on their channel. I'm the only one that's showing their full credit report. Only one. Why is that? Because I own myself. I own the business of LJ. I prove it by showing it to you. "99% of home buyers are renting from the bank." Put that on the show. You trying to get somebody in a fight, Nick? You better not wear that at work. You'll never make no sales ever. 6 cents. The title of this video. You see the title of this video, outrageous? That's gonna be the title of my book. Because why? Because it's 3 parts. It's the psychological part. Millions of debt slaves do not know they're homeowners. They don't know that they're not homeowners. They don't know. You better be ready to fight, though. It will be dope. I don't know. I might. Let me see. What'd you say? What'd you say, Nick? 99% of home buyers. 99% of home buyers are renting from the bank. Huh. I tell you what, I'll get the shirt. If you guys buy it, I'll make it. Tell you what, you guys tell me what you want to see on the shirts, and then I'll go back to selling shirts, because I think where I went wrong is just putting what I wanted to see on the shirts instead of you guys wanting to. And what I'll do is, and I learned from the last shirts, this is what I'll do. I'll put the statements on that you guys want, and they'll be top quality shirts, because now I know. First, you got to try stuff to learn and see what's going to be what. And then you know what's better, because because I had sold a certain type of shirt at first, and then I got a higher quality shirt, and I had Omanique bought, and a couple other people bought the higher. And Omanique for sure she could tell the difference between the better quality shirts. You guys tell me what you want. I'll start the shirt stuff back up quick, fast. Here, let me make a copy of that. What Nick said. Oops, crap. I didn't mean to do that. Just four. I might even Command Shift 4. Okay, and I might even, for the SMD family members that do come up with the sayings, I might say inspired by SMD family member Nick. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys to get credit for this stuff, man. We pay our debt slaves in the form of welfare contracts. Well, you got to remember, Jesus, they're everything. They are everything. They're everything. Everything. I remember seeing a documentary about rich kids tracing their family wealth over 1,000 years. I just forgot that it was what it was called. Well, Gabriel, think about it, Gabriel. Now, especially with you, Gabriel, you're young, you have no children. When you decide, now you know for a fact, Gabriel, when you decide to get married, she's not going to be a debt slave. She's not. When you decide to have kids, you're going to automatically pass this down to your children. That's an automatic. That's an automatic. They're going to know from birth what they're going to do. I mean, they're going to know because you're going to show them. They're not going to be financing stuff. This is how it's passed down generationally, because it's an automatic. It's not. That's it. You guys, wordplay. When you understand how SMD works, wordplay is it's a natural thing. I be saying so many things in the community area of the YouTube. It just pops up to me and I just write it down. And then you guys do with you wish. Shirt should be shrink proof. Yeah, when you do these shirt things, it's you get to choose the quality of shirt. So what I was doing at first, I didn't really understand it. I got a saying. The first one was really horrible, but it's just the way it is. You just got to learn, right? But now I'm just going to get the top quality shirt because it deserves these statements deserve to be on top quality shirts. Shrink, whatever, fit right, whatever it needs to be. I'm going straight to the top quality because I want you guys to get the best. I want to represent S&D properly. You guys, when you guys open up your own businesses, you will. It's okay as long as you learn from your mistakes. When you're creating stuff, that's all part of it. What to do, what not to do, and then you just learn and become better and better and better. Yes, they do. They pass down to their kids. Because you hear debt slaves always talk about, hey, don't you get a house? Don't you want to leave something for your kids? What you gonna leave for them? You don't own. If you got a mortgage, you can't leave a mortgaged house to your children. The bank don't care if those kids are your children. Who's gonna pay for this mortgage? That's not up to them. It's up to the bank. You ain't leaving nothing for nothing. I absolutely love what I do. I love what I founded. I love SMD. You guys got to understand, SMD is a family of trust, a family of, man, this is what I picture. Everybody, the family members are going to venture off into their own thing, right? But we're always going to have a community. So what we learn, with all the information, business tech, business, everything that we learn from debt slaves, we're going to all come back, share it with each other, and grow. People don't really understand what this S&D is going to be into. You have a different attitude. When I go out in public now, right? It's really difficult to explain. But when I go out in public, it's just like the Matrix. I see all the debt slaves running around me doing stuff and buying cars and this and that. And it doesn't. I'm not. If I see some like the other day, I saw somebody driving one of those new electric Mercedes Benz. I can still admire the car. I'll be like, wow, that's the new electric Mercedes Benz. That's pretty cool. But I don't think the person driving it is rich. I don't know if they're making payments or not. I don't know if they're making payments. I don't really care what kind of car it is. It's the bank's car. The bank is just letting them drive it. It doesn't matter if they got the brand new Silverado or the brand new Hummer EV. Because if you driving down the street, right, and you see a Hummer EV parked charging, if people look at it, it's like, oh, they automatically say, oh, that guy must be rich. Look, he's got no. That doesn't mean he's rich. That means he's making payments on an electric Hummer EV. It's still a big ass ugly truck, but it's just electric. Hey Nick, they're always busy. Debt slaves are always busy. Always busy. When I went to the airport. Airports are crowded. And now you guys know tickets are what, 500 and up. You think all those people they're financing airline tickets. You think all those people in the airport are paying cash for tickets? No, they're using credit cards. The airlines wouldn't exist if the banks didn't exist. I have seen parents use their child's name to activate their utility. That's sad too. Years later, the child becomes an adult and can't establish credit due to their parent. And you know what's so crazy? This is what the I'm gonna just say it, the fuck. My mom's here, that's why I'm low. This is what the fucked up position that is. That's in. The only way those kids can have that removed from their credit reports, they got to file a police report and put their parents on fraud. How many kids are going to do that? They're not. That's fucked up that their parents put them in that position. Now, can you imagine you coming up? You don't know because you think your parents love you, right? And then all of a sudden you go out and try to get an apartment and you find out you got a $20,000 debt you owe that you know is not yours and your parents did it. What you going to do? You're going to call the place and say, hey, this is not me. Then the credit reporting agency is going to say, then who did it? If it wasn't you, do you know who did it? You do or you don't? If you don't, guess what? You owe $20,000. If your mama or your daddy put that on your credit report, what are you going to do? File a police report, file a fraud charges, identity theft on your parents? Probably not. You're going to eat it. That's messed up. Busy like bees. Hey, listen, Nick, they're making our world they're making our finances go round and round. That's what they're doing. Those are debt slaves. Financing big businesses, yeah. Debt slaves. Debt slaves own nothing. You know what, Queen, that's everywhere though. That's everywhere. When I was a debt slave, right? I used to hear about that, especially in the community I grew up in. I used to hear about that all the time, right? Now that I'm on the positive side of zero, that is just so messed up. So messed up. Listen, how low of a debt slave can you be? You mess up your own life, right? Your own financial life. And then you add your kids to it, innocent children that don't know nothing about credit, how it works, nothing. And your utilities are in your kids' name. And listen, and you don't pay it. That is oof. I thought, you know how we always say, low down, dirty debt slave. Those debt slaves are those debt slaves are they're the lowest. Those are the lowest debt slaves. Make your kid listen. You got to think about the whole picture. Make your kid a debt slave before they're even an adult. They're not even an adult yet. I hate when debt slaves flash their money, cars, jewelry, houses to impress people. I guess it's all playing the game. That's just business. That's how it works. You got to take a step back. Once you come on the positive side of the economy, outrageous, think about it. You're outside the debt matrix, looking through a glass window of all the debt slaves. Now you got to remember, debt slaves don't know they're inside the debt matrix. They don't know that. You're on the outside of it looking through a glass pane window. Now, you create a business based on debt slaves. You have to. That's how you got to look at it. Like Apple, listen, Apple wouldn't exist if debt slaves wasn't financing their phones and products. Nobody, no business, listen, if they cut off credit card access for 5 minutes, you know what that would do to the economy if the banks if they cut off credit card access for 5 minutes, hell, 1 minute, that would tank the economy, tank it. Why? Because debt slaves have no money. Your kid's lucky to have you, SMD. You are saving the future. You know, I didn't. You got to remember, my kids are adults now. I have adult children. Okay, I was a debt slave when I was raising them. Okay, I was a debt slave. I was a six-figure earning IT computer engineer debt slave. So I didn't really teach them nothing, right? I got one of my sons. He can hear me. My oldest son, he doesn't hear me. He doesn't hear me at all. He's just, oh, Dad, who you think you are? This, I mean, he doesn't talk like that to me, but I can tell by his attitude. It's like, all right, well, okay, whatever, man. I love it though. But if they, then my oldest son he's not going to really know until he sees the book sell, see me going on tours and stuff like that. He's not going to really know until that happens, you know. And a lot of people, I got some friends that they're not really going to believe me until it happens. And I'm not going to say, hey, I told you so. I'm just going to, because I already know it now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people believe. It doesn't matter. As long as I believe in math, I mean, trust math, because you don't have to believe in math. All you got to do is trust it. Math is not a belief. That's a fact, right? Once you understand this, it won't matter, because I'm sure put it this way, once I get bigger and bigger and I start going on bigger stages, they're going to bring in so-called smart people, financial people. And if they don't trust math, they've already lost before they come to the stage. They just don't, whether they know this or not, hey, whatever. But I'll be seeing, I'll be online seeing certified financial planners talking all this shit. It's like, all you got to do is ask to see their personal credit report to see if they're full of shit or not. That's all you got to do. It doesn't matter how many degrees they got, what school they went to. It doesn't matter. Do not take financial advice from a finance professional who is in debt. That's dumb. If they're out here telling you how to invest and they have a mortgage, what are you talking about, financial planner? You have a mortgage. How are you investing with a mortgage? You can't. Just bananas. And a lot of you guys be paying it. Anybody that's making videos, making it funny and this and that, why are you making jokes? What's jokes got to do with my money? I don't think that's funny. Any questions, you guys? Any questions? I absolutely love what I do. Absolutely love what I do. What'd you say? So to be in the positive, to be on the positive side of things is to pay off all your debts, get a good job, or start a business. No, to be when I say on the positive side of things, now think of zero. Okay, this is what I want you to, and those are good questions, Outrageous. Okay, you remember the chart? You know the chart, zero in the middle, negative numbers on the left, positive numbers on the right. That's what I mean, be on the positive side. Now remember, they taught us all this in elementary school. Positive side is mean the green numbers on the right side, if you're looking at it, okay? Green numbers on the right side of zero are positive. Red numbers on the left side of zero are negative. That's what I mean. Zero has no opposite. Remember, every other number has an opposite except zero. Zero is the most important number of them all. So simple, Jesus. So simple. Zero, and you got to think about it like this, outrageous. Why does zero have no opposite number? Because it's the most important number. You have to go through it to get to either side. You have to go through zero to get to debt slaves never count zero. You say, hey, count to 10. They go 1, 2, 3. What about zero? Oh, why is there a reason to talk about that? Because it's important. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop skipping 0. They taught us all of this in elementary school. All of us. It's crazy. It's so crazy to think about. They taught us all in elementary school this number chart. It used to be above the chalkboard. Yeah, we had chalkboards in my days. It used to be above the chalkboard in math class, always. And when I was a kid, I used to love math. I ain't gonna lie. Math and money games. And now I understand why my math teacher always gave me special attention. I think she knew I had a gift. I think she knew I had a gift because she used to always give me extra attention going through math and money games because I used to love it. Yeah, I'm about to head out of here too. I'm getting tired too. It's almost 11. Ain't gonna be no anything. Well, I'm on Pacific time right now. I forgot you guys are 3 hours ahead if you're on the East Coast. I forgot about that. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I totally forgot it because that's going 11, 12, 1, 2. Ooh, damn, it's really late for you guys on the East Coast. I'm sorry to keep you guys so late. All right, if you catch this later, man, leave a comment. And I'm tired. I've been out all day too. All right, outrageous queen, and all you guys up so late. I know you guys got to get up in the morning. See you guys later. Thank you, Jesus. Appreciate it. It is a late one, man. I didn't realize. I totally forgot it. Most of my people are on the East Coast. It's almost 2. Yeah, you're right. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Okay, and I hope this video ties you guys over because I know you guys been like, man, you haven't been on for so long, LJ. Later, Aaron. I know it's early in the morning where you're at. Sounds killing me. All right, man. Until next time, man. You guys have a wonderful night. All right, see you later. Good night, Arlene. Ooh, 1:55. Yeah, it's late. You guys have a good night. See you later.